Welcome to Python Programming Language video tutorials by Talent Shine India Private Limited. I am your host Babu sir, technical, quant, logical reasoning trainer. In my previous tutorial, I have discussed a few methods from the string. Those are strip method, lstrip method, or strip method. In this tutorial, I would like to demonstrate a few more methods from the string. Those are count method, index method, or index method, find method, and finally or find method. Without wasting much time, let's start and discuss about these methods. So let us begin with the count method. So let me write here count method. What it is going to do? It returns the number of occurrences of substring in a string. So what does it mean? So it means it returns count of a substring in a string. Suppose if substring is not found, then what it is going to return? If substring not found in a string, then it returns 0. So do remember this point. Now let me give here the syntax for this method. So this method is going to take 3 arguments. So you have to write here string dot count, and you have to pass here 3 arguments. So that is what the first argument is substring, and the second argument is start index, and third argument is end index. Here substring is a mandatory argument. So one has to pass this argument. So this is a mandatory argument. And these two are optional arguments. So I hope you could understand what the count method it is. For better understanding, let me go to my IDE and discuss with an example. Now let me take here, so one string, so that is, he kept asking the same question again and again. So this is what the string I have taken over here. Now let me write here print statement. So where we are writing here the method count. And let us pass here the substring. Substring I'm going to pass here ask. And then, so you may pass here start index and stop index as well. So since those are optional arguments, I'm not going to pass in this example. Now, let me execute it so that we can see how many times this ask is there in the given string. Now you could see here 2 times you may identify the ask. So here 1 time and here second time. Suppose if substring is not found in a string, then what will happen? Now, so let me erase this, and I'm writing here hi. If it is not there in this string, then it is going to return 0. Now, let me take one more example. In this case, I'm going to pass start index and stop index. Let me pass start index as 1, and stop index, I'm going to give you here some 13. Now, let me execute it. You could see here only 1 time we have this ask. So we have started with index number as 1, and end index is 13. So which means this 13th index will be not included. So until 12th index, it is going to verify. Now you could see this is the 0th index, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So until here, it is going to verify. So from first index to 12th index, we have only one time this substring is located here. So hence, it is going to return 1. So I hope you could understand what we have conveyed with this count method. So if it is clear, let us go back and discuss the next method, that is index method. Now let me erase this. Now let me take index method. Let me write it here, index method. So what it is going to do? It returns the index. Do remember, it is going to return the index of first occurrence. Do remember here, first occurrence of substring in a string. Do remember here. So it is going to return the index number of first occurrence of substring. Now, if substring is not found, then what will happen? If substring not found, then it returns value error. Do remember here, it is going to return value error. Now, let me write here the syntax for this method. The syntax for this method. So again, string dot index, and here it is going to take 3 arguments as like count method. The first argument you have to pass here substring, and then start index, and then end index. Here also substring is mandatory. One has to pass a mandatory argument, that is what? Substring. Do remember here. So you have to pass it, mandatory argument. And these two are optional arguments. These two are optional arguments. Now, let me explain with a small example over here. Let us take some A is equal to hello world. Now, let us take this method, index method, A dot index of, let me take substring. So I'm going to take substring as O. I'm not going to pass any other things, other parameters, as they are optional. Now, what could be the output you will be getting? Now, let me write here the index numbers. So it is 0th index, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this white space is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, so this index method is going to set from 0th index onwards. And then whenever it it encounters O, it provides what? The corresponding index number. So what is the corresponding index number for this O? It is 4. Hence, the output becomes what? 4. So I hope you could understand. So let me go back to my IDE and let me write one example so that you could understand in a better way. Now, let me take the same example, A equal to, he kept asking the same question again and again. Now, let us write here A dot index, and I'm going to take one string, so that is E. Now, let me execute it. So you could see the index number for E. So 0th index, we have H, and index number 1, we have E. So it returns what? The index number for corresponding E. So I hope you could understand. We have a plenty of E's, right? However, it returns the first occurrence of this substring in this string of index number. So I hope it is clear to everybody, right? Now let me write here the print statement. Now let me copy it. For the same example, so let me pass optional arguments, that is start index and stop index. So I'm starting with here index number 2, and I'm going to give you the stop index as 6. So when we are writing here 6, this sixth index will not be included until fifth index it is going to verify. Now, what is this sixth index? Which means it is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Sixth index is T, but T will not be included. Until P, it is going to set. What is the start index 2? Which means it is going to set from this white space onwards. So it is 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we will be getting, so this E corresponding index number. Let me execute it so that you could understand. So this E corresponding index is 4. So I hope you could understand what I have conveyed. Now, so let me take E. So let me take T. Let me take T. And I'm going to take the same index numbers. So 2, 6. Now let me execute it. So let us write here comma and then execute it. So in this case, it is going to return value error. So within this range, so we won't identify T as sixth index is not included. So this T is located at index number 6. So hence it is going to return value error. Now, if you are going to write here instead of 6, 7, now we will be getting, right? So if this substring is not found here, it is going to return value error, right? Now, let me write here one more string. So I am writing here again. So which is there already actually. Now, let me execute it. Now, so this again is there at index number 40. So this is what first occurrence, right? Now, so let me take one more example. In this case, I'm going to take the string which is not there. Now let me take hi. So which is not located actually. So in this particular case, it is going to return value error. So I hope the idea of index method is clear to everybody. So do remember this index method is going to set every character from the 0th index onwards, if you are not providing start index and end index. Now let's go back and discuss OR index method. So this OR index method, what it is going to do? Let me write it here. OR index. It returns again the index number of last occurrence. Do remember here, last occurrence of substring in a string. Now, if substring is not found, then what it is going to return? Then it returns value error as like index method. Now syntax also remains same as like index method. So let me write the syntax over here. So again, string dot or index. So here it is going to take 3 arguments. So the first one is substring. It is what mandatory argument, and start is optional, and end is also optional argument. So start index and end index both are optional arguments. whereas substring you have to pass mandatorily. Now, for better understanding, let me take one example here. So let me take A is equal to hello world. Now, let me write the corresponding index numbers here. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, so let me write here this method or index method. So let me apply A dot or index. And here I'm going to pass one substring, that is O. Now, what could be the output we will be getting? Suppose the same example, if I have applied for index method, what could be the output we will be getting? Now, if I have applied for the index method, so then it is going to start searching from the 0th index onwards. So this O is there, and let us take the same example. So A is equal to hello world. Now, let us take the print statement. So print of A dot or index. And let me take here the substring as O. Let me copy the same thing and apply it for the index method. So remove this R and see the difference. So our index method is going to return 7. Index method is going to return 4. So this or index method is going to search from the last index onwards, whereas this index method starts searching from the 0th index onwards. So wherever it finds first time, so it is going to return the corresponding index numbers. And the rest of the parameters you could pass as per your requirement. Now, so let me take here, so index number 0, let me place comma and 0. This is what start index, and stop index I'm going to give 10. Now, let me execute it. Again, it is going to return 7. Now, here let me give 5. Now, you could see, so since I have given 5, which means 0th index onwards, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in this particular range, so first time, which means reverse side, so we can identify this O at index number 4, hence we got the output as 4. So I hope the idea of OR index method is clear to everybody. Now, let's go back and discuss the next method, that is find method. So let me erase this one and let me write here find method. So let me write here find method. Now, this method, what role it is going to do? So it returns again index number only. It returns what? Index number of first occurrence of substring in a string. So it is similar to the index method. Now, what could be the difference we could identify for this find method and index method? If substring not found in index method, what it is going to return? So in index method, if substring is not there, we will be getting value error. But here, it returns if substring not found, then it returns -1. So that is what the difference between index method and find method. In index method, we are getting what? Value error, but here you won't get the value error if substring not found. In this case, we will be getting the output as -1. So do remember this point. Now, so let me write here the syntax for this method. So it is like the previous method's syntax. So let us write here string dot find. And here also it is going to take three arguments. The first one we have to pass substring, and the second one is start index or beginning index, and finally end index. Right? So this is what this syntax for this find method. Now let me take the same example what we have used for this index method. Now let me write here a is equal to the same example, hello world. Now, so let us write here a dot find. Here I'm going to pass O. So these two are optional and it is what mandatory. So these are optional parameters, right? So now it is going to return what? The corresponding index number for this O. So this is the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the output becomes 4. So this is what the index number for the corresponding substring. Right? Suppose if substring is not found, then it is going to return -1. But in previous case, we are getting value error. So for better understanding, let me go back to my IDE and write one example over there. Right now, let me take here print of a dot find. So in this case, same example I'm taking O. Substring I have taken O. Now you could see the same output you are getting. Right? Now let me copy it and paste it over here. And now let me write one letter which is not there. So this T is not located in this string. Now in this case, we will be getting output as -1. So if I have used either index method or index method, what output we will be getting here? Now let me write here index and execute it. In this case, we are getting value error. So that is what the difference between index method and find method. Even if you are using OR index, the output remains same, value error only. So I hope the idea of a find method, index method, and OR index method is clear. Now, as I told you, the optional parameters, that is start index and stop index, as per your requirement, you could use it. Now, let me write here. So start index, I'm going to give 5. And stop index, I'm going to give 10. Now, let's see this fifth statement corresponding output. So first one, this is, let me erase it so that you will be getting clear understanding. So this is what the output is 7. Now let's go back and discuss OR find. So it is like OR index. Let me erase it and let me write the next method, that is OR find. Now what it is going to do? It returns again index number of lost occurrence here, lost occurrence of substring in a string. If substring not found, then it returns as like find method -1. Syntax remains same. Syntax remains same. So that is string dot or find. And again, it is going to take three arguments. First argument, we have to pass substring. The second argument is beginning index. And finally, end index. Now, let me apply the same method. So for that, I'm going to open my IDE and write one example. So instead of find method, I'm going to use our find method. So let me erase these parameters and execute it. Now you could get here 7. So the searching will be starts from lost character, lost index onwards. So where it identifies, so this O, it encounters at index number 7. So hence it is going to return 7, right? Now let me copy it and paste it. And if you are using only find method, so you will be getting 4. Find method, if this substring not found, it is going to return -1. Now let me copy it and paste it over here. And I'm writing here R find, and I'm going to use here T, which is not located in this string. So in this case, we will be getting the output as -1. Now let me take one more example, and let us take the other parameters. So that is a start index I'm giving 1, and end index I'm going to give 6. Now let me execute it. So you will be getting 4. So reverse side, it is going to start. So from index number 5 onwards, so 6 is not included. So index number 5 onwards, it is going to set, right? So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. From this 5 space, it is going to set wherever it finds this O, corresponding index number we will be getting. So that is what 4. So I hope the idea of these methods clear to everybody. If you clearly understood these methods, please like, share, and subscribe our channel. Thanks for watching.